is back in lesson 3.7. It's called the tab bar controller. How the tab bar controller works is that you have a view controller, but then you have a wrapper that kind of goes around it. And then that wrapper controls the tabs. Okay, kind of like the table layout. Kind of like that. So again, we've already learned how to navigate from one controller to the other. We already have that navigation controller cuts of time. In this lesson, you use tab bar controllers to organize different kinds of information or different modes of the operation. Tab bar controllers are key to navigating between view controllers and allowing you to comfortably pack more functionality into a single app. The nice thing about the tab thing is it's always at the bottom too. You can scroll above it, right? You've used that. So it's kind of like a constant navigation that's along the bottom of your app. A little different than the top one in that you don't have to have the back button, right? Because you can just tab at the, well, you can have a back button at the top if you're navigating through views within a tab, if that makes any sense. Because you might have more views within a single tab. So you can almost think of the tab as being, being a section, like in a web page, right? And then you could go to multiple sections within there. So just a way of hierarchical structure. You can use a combination of the table layout with the tabbed menu is what I'm trying to say. The next thing is, again, their example is the stopwatch app or there. And let's look at that real quick. Again, if we can see it, let's look at it. That would be that would be the clock app, right? At the clock app at the bottom there, you have the world clock, you have the alarm clock, you have bedtime, which I don't use, I guess, stopwatch, which you've seen that before where it goes and stops, and then you have the timer at the bottom. Again, it's all at the bottom there. Okay, just like you could. So again, the tab controller allows you to arrange your app according to distinct modes or sections. For example, the clock app is divided into 5 modes: world clock, alarm, bedtime, stopwatch, and timer. As you expect, the tab bars interface features a tabbed bar view, which runs along the bottom of the app screen. Each tab contains its own independent navigation hierarchy, with the tab bar controller coordinating the navigation between the different view hierarchies. The tab bar distinguishes the currently selected tab with a different colored icon and a title. Again, there is text that goes along, and you don't need to put the text in the icon. If you make your own icon, it's a separate item, right? The word photos is not part of the graphic that you see there. There's also built-in ones, right? There's a bunch of pre-made tabs that you can just install. There's some pre-made ones as well. To practice building a table bar interface, you'll create a simple app that navigates between several root view controllers. This could be a good template for future projects. Also, use a tab bar controller. Start by creating a new project called Rainbow Tabs. Again, they're just going to change the color of screen so you can see the difference. But let's go through it and see how to build your own. Then I'll show you how to make your own tab or your own icon. At the bottom, again, rainbow bow. I think it was rainbow what? Rainbow tabs. Rainbow tabs. And find a place to put it. And let's just make it on iPhone. And let's go to the storyboard. Again, you just have one view controller at this point. Start by creating a new project or run by the Xcode. You'll want to copy over the PDF files, your student resource folder, into the project assets folder. Again, the PDFs that they're talking about are actually icons that you can use. I don't know. Let me find them. I know where they're at. Hold on. Hold on. They're in here. I know they're on here somewhere. Hold on. They're in my folder somewhere. Hold on. Again, it's black and white or white on black, and then you can change the color in there. So they have B for blue, G for green, O for orange, R for red, and Y for yellow. So they're basically, the reason why they have these letters is to show you, because it's rainbow, right? It's rainbow tabs. That's why it's like that. You can just simply, if you want to try this, you can find those assets are in the folder, and you can just drag them in there.
Wait, do we have these?
Yeah, you have those are located on Canvas, inside of Canvas. Oh, you don't have Canvas on your. Who asked me that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't have Canvas.
Here we can simply give them to you right here if you want, or you can make your own. You want me to make one? You want me to show you how to make your own right now? Let's just make our own right now, and you can use that. How about that?
Sure.
How about that? Okay, size-wise, let's talk about size for a moment. Now, these are awful small, right? Notice that they're PDFs, which means they're what file format? Bitmap or vector? Bitmap or vector? PDF. Vector, right? They're not, if it was a bitmap, it would be a PNG or JPEG, right? PDF is a vector. So what program would I usually make this in if it's a vector? Adobe Illustrator, right? If I was going to make it in Photoshop, I'd probably save it as a PDF or a PNG. So let's open one of these up, and we'll look at it inside of Illustrator. And if I zoom in on it, you could tell in Illustrator that it is vector by just selecting it. You can see it right there. And what is it? It's black and white. You'll see just vector shapes, right? They're vector shapes. So if you want to make your own, and then if you want to know what size it is, pixel-wise, you can go underneath the artboard. So there is a document setup that shows you. Doesn't it tell you what size it is? It used to. I guess that doesn't show you. How about rulers? That should show you the size. View rulers. Rulers. Show rulers. And it's in inches. How about in pixels? Let's change the preferences to pixels. Units. Pixels. This is this is 20. Looks like 28 pixels by 28 pixels. So this is like 28 pixels by 20. That's awful small. It doesn't have to be that. In Xcode, it'll shrink it down to fit the window in the tab. The most important thing is to make it square. So if you want to make your own, you don't have to make it 28 by 20. You can make it bigger, and it'll shrink it down to fit inside the box. But we can make it anyways. Let's try. So if I was going to make it 28 by 28 pixels, because I'm going to follow what they have, I'm going to go under File, New. And again, under File, New, inside of Illustrator, I can change it to pixels. And you can type in 28 pixels by 28 pixels. 28 by 28. And then change, of course, the RGB to RGB color. RGB color, 28 by 28. So give yourself a square one, whatever size square that you want, and you can hit create, and you have an artboard. Again, they're just using letters, so you can use your own letter if you want. the key here is they have two different ons, one for the art of when it is pushed and one when it's done. So let's look at that for just a minute. I'm going to go back to my iPhone here for a second. Let's go back to the iPhone and let's look at the clock again. If I can find the clock. Here it is. You can see it kind of, well, this one doesn't really have two different ones. Let's look at another one. Let's look at the...
You're a Waze user?
Which one?
You're a Waze user?
Waze user? Waze?
I'm saying you're a Waze user?
Not really. I learned about Waze when I was in Bogota one time, and a guy was driving, and before I knew what Waze was, and I'm like, "What app are you using?" Waze. I'm like, "What?" To get around traffic, of course. Okay, I don't know what I'm talking about there. Let's go back to our artwork. How about that? Here we go. Okay, let's make a black and white icon, and we'll make a white on black icon. How about that? So let's use a letter. They're using, what were they using? They were using B and something like that. Let's make our own letter. So I'm going to use the T for type letter. I'm going to click on it, and let's put a letter in. They haven't used A yet, have they? I was going to put A. How about we put an A in there? Again, the tool is this one right here. I just clicked on the type tool. I clicked on the screen and put an A on there. Then I'm going to scale that. How do I scale it? I use the selection tool right here, and I select it. And I can scale it. If you hold the shift key down, of course, it'll scale in proportion. So we have a black A on a white background. Oh, if I can get it to work there. Okay, so that's all fun and games and looks pretty good. The problem, though, of course, is that we want to have two of them. So if you look at here, you've got the white letter on a black background, and then you have, hold on, and then you have a black letter on a white background. But look at it, he has a black line that goes around it. That black line then shows up and makes it easier to see than just the plain letter in there, right? So we're going to make an oval rectangle that goes around as well. To make that oval rectangle, you'll notice you do have a rectangle tool there, and you do have one that says round rectangle tool, right? There's one called round rectangle tool. If I put my cursor in the upper corner, again, I'm using this one right here, the round rectangle tool, I can then go and draw a rectangle. Uh-oh, that doesn't look good. It's okay, don't worry about it yet. Make it there. Once you make it, you can change the angle of the edges. And don't worry, I know it covered up your letter. Don't worry about it right now. We're going to go back to that. I'm going to go and switch from black fill to no stroke. Do you see this option over here? You have a little arrow that points in multiple directions. If I click on that right there, it'll give me my black line that goes around it. So there's some problems with the black line right now. One of them is that the edges of the stroke are outside a little bit, right? See how it's outside? That's not good either. So we want the line to be inside, and we want it to be a little bit less roundy edges, if that's a word, roundy. To do that, you bring up the info, or the properties window. It's under Window Properties. Under Windows Properties is where you can change the actual stroke, and you want the stroke to be on the inside. You click on the word stroke, and you can tell it to be inside. Which one's inside? This one. There we go. Inside right there. Click on the word stroke right there, and I said inside. And then to round out the edges, there is an option for that somewhere. Hold on. Maybe it's under info. It might be under info. Is it under info? No. Hold on. There is a way to round. Which one?
The hollowed dots.
The hollowed dots.
They're near the center.
This one?
No, of the letter.
These ones?
Yeah.
Ooh, thank you. There we go. The hollow dot in the center. Somebody must be in the Illustrator class. Or no Illustrator. Okay, so again, making sure that looks pretty good. So again, we have black text with a black line around it. Again, I'm going to save that as a PDF. To save that as a PDF, I go under File, Save As, and let's save that as a PDF. And this is letter A.
Jeff, sorry, could you show how you did that again? Around the edges?
Yep. Did you get the round? Here, I'll put it in again. Let's delete. Here's my round rectangle tool. You see it right there? I put my cursor in the upper left corner. I click and drag to the edge. And then I bring up the properties window. If you see the properties window, properties. In the properties window, you make sure if you click the word stroke, you make sure it's on the inside, right? Inside. Then to change the edges, there's these little dots right here. They in the properties window, they used to have the ability to do it, but now it looks like you got to grab these dots, and you can drag them out. See how I'm dragging it to the edge, and it dragged it out. So see if you can get that to go there. I'm going to save this, and then we'll make the other one the black on white and white on black. So if we want to make a black on white one, the first thing I'm going to do is send the rectangle to the back, because right now we have two objects. We have the letter. In fact, the letter, let's do this too. The letter, you don't want to be a letter. You don't want it to be a letter, because then it's going to mess it up. You want it to be an object. To convert the letter to an object, I'm going to select the letter, go underneath object, or type, I'm sorry, under type, and say create outlines. That'll convert your letter to an object. We want it to be an object. Okay, it's under type, create outlines, converts it to an object.
You selected the A.
Selected the A, go to type, create outlines. That converts it to an object, so it's not a letter. It doesn't see it as a font anymore. Next, I'm going to take the rectangle and send it to the back. Send it to the back. Oh, let's save that. First, save it as a PDF. Save that as a PDF. Go under File, save this as a PDF, and we got letter A.
Wait, type create outlines? What did you say?
For the letter,
Yeah.
it's under Type, Create Outlines. We'll convert it to an object. Then save that as a PDF. File, save as, save it as a PDF format. And then let's create the black on white one. To create a black on white one, I'm going to select the object, the rectangle. I'm going to send it to the back so it's behind the letter. I need it to be in the back. To send it behind the letter, I'm going to go underneath object, arrange, send to back. That'll send it behind the letter A, because we're going to make the letter A white, and we're going to fill the rectangle with black, just like you see in the sample, right? Right here. If you see this, see how it's black with white, right? We're going to do the same thing. I sent this to back. I'm going to grab the letter and make that white. See white over here? There's white. We'll make it the color white. That's the color right here. See this box? The first one, double click on that and make it white. This is the color picker. Make it white, and then grab the rectangle and switch it to black. Black right here. And now we have a black on white one like that. So see if you can do that. I'm going to save this as a PDF, a different PDF. This would be letter A, part 2 or whatever. Selected. So again, switch those, and then we'll get started. I'll come and help you real quick. Any kind of icon you want, right? You want to make a star, or make a shape, or make a triangle. You can make any kind of shape you want. The program has all kinds of shapes. The star tool, that makes all kinds of shapes. How many points you want. How about we do like 12? So if you want something like this, You can make any kind of shape you want. Look at that. Well, that could be a good icon, right? So next step would be to bring these icons into Xcode. Again, in Xcode, you should put them in the, and I'm going to quit Illustrator now. I'm going to quit Illustrator. Again, you can put them into Xcode. I made a star real quick. You saw that. You can also drag them in as well. And drag them right into the Assets window. Okay. So again, I have an A, a G, a B, an O, an R, a star, a Y, and so on. So we have all those right there.
Where did you put it in the canvas? No.
What's that?
We only have one letter. Do you have those in canvas? You can drag it.
The ones that these ones are on Canvas inside of the, if you go to the class Canvas and you log into Canvas, if you log into Canvas, the icons are here at the beginning. Book reading and lecture content, right? And no, not that one. There's one that I gave a link to the thing, didn't I? Main assignments and reading. How about that? I believe it's this one. I don't know. Let me download this again. Yeah, it is that one. So if you want the files, they're here. That I'm using is under lesson 1, right? Under lesson 1, where it says main assignment and reading for class. And you can download the book right here. Here's the book samples right here. Download that. And then inside of that folder, under number 3, there is tab bar controllers right here. See it? Tab bar controllers. And here's where all the PDFs are. Just drag them into Xcode. Pre-made tabs for you already. So let's get back to the Xcode. So I've installed the artwork that they talked about. And then I'm going to go to the next page. So the first step you're going to do is you're going to embed a tab controller into your view controller. So it is a tabbed bar controller. So this is a little tricky. At first, you got to make sure that you select it. You select the view controller. See how it's blue? Make sure it's blue, right? Select it first, and then under the editor, see how the editor is right here? It's in pull-down menu, editor, embed in, and then there is a tabbed bar controller. And I think this is how you can put the navigational controller too. I think this was the mistake I was doing last time. I made a mistake when we were doing the tabbed menu. Remember the tabbed example? We should have done it this way. But whatever, it's too late now. Let's move on to tabbed menu, or tab bar, not navigational controller. So go under here where it says tabbed bar controller. And it kind of puts a wrapper on there. And let me zoom out a little bit so you can see what I mean. You'll see how it puts this thing right here called the tab bar controller. And it's kind of a wrapper that's over top of your view controller. See, this is the view controller here. and then this is the tabbed bar controller there. So it's kind of like a wrapper that goes over top of your view for the navigation. Okay, that's why there's two windows now. Did you see that? How to find it, right? It was underneath editor, embed in, tabbed bar controller. Okay, once you have that, you'll notice there's already a default item. You can see it down there. See it called default item right there? That's one item already there for you. So, next, to create the tab bar controller with the red view, choose editor, embed in, tab bar controller for the thing. Oh, they made it red first, I guess. We didn't make it red, did we? We should have changed the background color to red. Let's change it now. Click over here. Notice it says item. Oh, did you see that? Item, but it said item somewhere. There we go. Okay, so select this one and go to the background and make the background red. Red. Where's red? Custom red. There we go. Red. Okay, so I made that one red. This one red. Next, we're going to go back to the book, and you'll see it says, next we're going to add another one, to add another tabbed bar item. Select the view controller in the object library and drag it into the canvas. Give the new controller an orange background. Next, you'll need to add the new view controller to the view controller array. Control drag from the tab bar controller to the orange view controller. Release the mouse button or trackpad. In the popover, you'll see a view controllers list under relationship segue. Choose this option. Okay, again, we're going to, like we did before, make another view controller. That view controller is going to be orange. So let's make one that's orange. To make it orange, I'm going to make a new view controller. And I'm going to drag that out. I'm going to zoom out a little bit here so I have some space here. Let me zoom out. So I made a new view controller. And I'm going to put it underneath. I'm going to make that orange. Make that orange. Make that orange. Is this orange? This is orange. Orange. I guess that's orange. Then to drag it, again, you're going to drag from here to here. No, that didn't work. Let me read it again. Drag, control drag from the tab bar. Yes, that's the tab bar. Tab bar controller to the orange view, which I just did, and release the mouse or trackpad. In the popover, you should see view controllers. That should have worked. Let me zoom in. Maybe I'm zoomed out too far. You should be able to drag from this bar right here to this. Hold on, let me try again. No. Maybe I need it selected. Oh, shit. Hold on. No. What's that? Here? In here? Oh, in here? Now try it? Oh, okay. Don't drag on there. Yeah. Okay, and then they say use what? View controllers? View controllers right here. See where it says relationship segue? View controllers right there. And what did that do? You can see view controllers, relationship. Choose this option. Okay. Oh, it gave me another item. Do you see that? You have another item. So it should have given you another item. See how it says item here? And then let's go to the next one. You should now see a second tab bar item in the tab bar controller.
Wait, when you drag, what's the show after you drag? Show?
No. View controllers. It should say view controllers in there.
Under relationship.
Release, it should say view controllers. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, and then click on that view controllers. And then you should have an arrow that goes there if you have it. See the arrow? If I move this up, let me move my window around a little bit here. So if I move this away, there you go. You can see You should be able to see the segue, right? You got one going here and one going there, right? Next, we're going to change the icons. Let's change the icons. To change the icons, you should now see a second tab bar in the tab bar controller. Build and run your app. Notice you can switch between the two view controllers by selecting the different tabs. So again, you should be able to at least test it by now. Test it. And you should be able to see in the simulator, you can jump between red and orange. But of course, we haven't changed the icons yet, but we will change the icons. Right now, they just say item 1, item, and item. See, item, 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 item. Pretty basic, simple so far. Next, we're going to change the icons. The tab bar has many different features, as you can see here. There's pre-made ones. As you can see, the tab bar items consist of two visual elements, an image and a label. The iOS SDK software development kit is what SDK provides several iOS-style icons paired with simple system-defined text, referred to as a system item. You can see a few of them on the tab store bar, Apple Store tab bar. Again, these are common ones you see, remember, in the phone app and so on. To change them, you could just kind of click on them. In your Rainbow Tab project, select the tab bar in the red view controller, open up the Attributes Inspector, choose any of the items from the system pop-up menu. Notice the tab bar adjustments to the different selections. Again, I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to zoom in to the red one, and I'm going to zoom in down here to the actual tab down here. Inside there, you'll notice once you select it down there in the Attributes Inspector, you'll notice there's one that says System Item. System Item. If you click on that, you have some common ones. Again, you got Favorites, which is the star. You have Featured. You have Top Rated. You have Recent. You have Contact. You have History. You have Bookmarks. You have Search. You have Downloads. You have Most Recent. And then you have Most Viewed, right? Those are the ones you've probably seen before. Again, I'm in the red view controller. I clicked on the tab, and this is where you can change them. If you go to Custom, you can then go and select an image. And so, since we're in the red one, which one are we going to select? The red one, R for red, R, right? Or, remember we made our own? What did we make? We made one, right? Letter A, didn't we? There we go. See the A? We made an A, right? Okay, so you do have the option to make your own. Now change the device orientation in the builder to landscape using the View As button. Notice how the tab bar item now appears to the right of the icon when the portrait is mode. What they're talking about here is right now there is a value that goes underneath it. So if I put A in here, I can also put my custom. Oh, no, that didn't work. I didn't want the badge. What am I looking for? Oh, badge is the item, but there should be a... Oh, title. This is the title right here. My icon. There it is. So here's the text that goes underneath it. So again, custom here. Put your own graphic in there. And then you can type the text here. The text here. In addition, you could also change the position. So what they're talking about in the second part here is let's test it real quick. So if we test it, you'll notice in the portrait mode. Oh, my icon's not showing up. Why not? It's not working. Let me try the default one that the book gave us. What was the one the book gave us? R? R? Let me try that. Let me try iPhone 8. It's not showing up there either. Must be doing something wrong. well, whatever. They're telling us to use an iPhone in landscape mode. It would put it to the side is what they're saying there. Let's see. But maybe the system items don't make sense for your app. You can also attributes inspector customize an item label and its image for both unselected and selected states. Let me see. Oh, they have R here. This would be the selected one, I guess, up there. R selected. There we go. R selected here. So this would be the selected one. This is the default one down there. How about that? R, my icon. This would be red. Red. Red, R, selected. Let's try that now. If we can find it. There we go. So that's the black on white one, right? That's the black on white icon. Now it's blue, right? Because it's default to blue. If you rotate it, it'll put the text to the side. See how the text is on the side now? See, it's on the side. And if you rotate it again, oops, that didn't work right. Rotate it again. It should be at the bottom. So that's what they were talking about on this page right here. Oosh. This page here is if you rotate it, when you rotate the view, it should put the icon on the side. See it like this over here? Again, to put your own icon in there, you put the title here, you put the image there, and then there is a selected one here. With the red view still selected, enter red in the text field, add R as the image. Make sure that you've added the PDF vector image from the student folder. If you want, you can also customize the selected image attribute to distinguish the tabbed item selected state, which we just did. Next, there's also a way of giving it an icon that goes next to it, and that icon's like a special badge, they call it. It's like a warning message, right? You probably get that with your email when it tells you there's a new email sometimes, or at least on mine you'll see. Here, look at my email. Look at my email. I have 14,717 new emails, and my phone has 15 messages, right? This is the badge. Okay, it's called a badge. It's like when you have an update or something's happening, right? It's called a badge. And if we look at it, wherever it is, if you click on it, it's badge. Where's badge right here? Value. And you can program that. Of course, that's something that you would program and not probably put in there, right? It's something that you would probably program when somebody gets a new update, right? Every time I get a new email, it changes it from 14,717 to 14,718, and so on. Yes. How did I get 14,717 emails? I don't know.
Out of spam.
What's that?
Out of spam.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. It's an old email account. Okay, so we don't have to put a badge in there if you don't want to. I'm just pointing it out right there. There is a badge, and you can change the badge color, I believe. I don't know. You want green? And we could say I have 14,707. There we go. There we go. See it? 14,707. Okay. Kind of crazy, but very useful. Lets the user know that something new is happening. That's something you would program. Let's turn that off for right now. There's no value right now. There we go. Okay, let's continue here. So again, you can program it right there. Tab bar item badge value with the exclamation point. Storyboards are ideal for setting up up initially or default view scenes, but they don't allow you to make runtime adjustments using the attributes inspector. That's okay. You can accomplish any of these customizations in code. For example, imagine you want to alert the user that the new information is available. Your app would have to update the badge at runtime. To assign a badge in code, set the badge value property to a non-nil string. You can access your view controller UI tab bar item instance through the tab bar item property. For more explanation, you can reference the UI control documentation. In view controller, insert the following line to the view did load function, and you can have it. So again, if we want, we could bring up the Swift file for this view controller right here. We can click on it and bring up the Swift file. And then in the view did load, you could put in the what was it? Tabbed bar item. There it is. Tab bar item dot bar or badge. What was it called? Badge value. Badge. B-A-G badge. B-D-G-E-V-A-L. Badge value, and then they give it a exclamation point. Or no, like that, and then it should. I don't have enough space here. It should show up at runtime. So that would be something that you would have to test. And let's see. So I have an explanation point there. But of course you could program it from data if they got a new update, right? That's what they were talking about. So again, it's right here. I programmed it using what the book said, which was the tabbed bar item badge value equals whatever. Run your app in the simulator, you'll notice the red tab item now has a badge. The badge will draw your user's attention to that tab after they view the new information. The badge is no longer necessary. To remove the badge, assign a nil value to the badge value property. You've probably noticed the current version of your project doesn't live up to its own rainbow tabs name. By adding more colors, more tabs, a tab bar will display all tab items as long as there's enough horizontal space. Now, if there's too much horizontal space, what does it do? Did you ever notice that? If you have more tabs in the viewable area, what does it do? It'll read those cheap. It scrolls it. It adds what? A more option. So you get the word more at the end there. And so the last one will be a more. So if there's 5, I believe, 5. After 5, it kind of runs out of space. It'll get rid of the last one, put the word more there, and it'll give you more. Yeah, I've seen that before in some of my apps. Yes, more. So, again, if you want to see that happen, you can add more. I'm going to quickly do it real fast. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. I'm just going to show you. Let's do it real quick. Let me zoom out. It's easier to zoom out. Again, I'm going to add a bunch of view controllers. View controller. Put one in there. That one's going to be green. Let's make that one green. 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 Whoops. Green. How do I get green? Green. 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 Let me put another one out there. And that'll be blue. Do we have a blue one yet? I don't know. Let's make a blue one. Blue. 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 And then let me put one more out. Another view controller. Let's make that one purple. Is that purple? And let's make that one, is that purple? Because it's purpley enough. Again, you control drag to each of them and view controllers, control drag, view controllers, control drag, view controllers. let me zoom in. Do I need to add one more, I guess? Let me zoom in. Let's add one more, and let's make that one a different color. Let's make that one peach. Is that a color? No. What's a color? We got blue, we got yellow, 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 yellow. Is that yellow? Yellow. And then let's drag that there. Okay, so again, if I zoom in, you'll see it. It added them all, but once at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you'll notice I have more, and it comes up with the box that says more. So if we run it right now, you'll see what happens. You'll have you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you get this more with the dots. See it? If you click on it, it'll actually give you this kind of tabbed menu here, and you have a more button that goes back. Do you see it up here? More, more.
Is it going to automatically do that?
Yes, by default. I'm sure you can adjust it possibly, not to have it as a tab menu, maybe to have it something else. I don't know. You can edit, and you can organize it. Probably drag the icons to organize your tab. Oh, down here probably. There we go. You can reorganize them. Didn't reorganize them here though. But that's what happens when you have more. Select the view controller object library. Add 3 more to the canvas. Blah blah blah. Match the order of the tabs. Feel free to update the new tab items with images in the asset catalog. Run your app in the simulator on the iPhone device with 5 items in the tab bar. There isn't much space left. What do you think will happen to the final one? That's what we just talked. Drag another view controller onto the canvas. So you just did that. And then run your app, and you get the more button. That's what we just talked about. The more view controller is unusual. It can't be customized or selected. I guess it can't be customized. It doesn't appear among the view controllers managed by the tab bar controller. It appears only when needed and otherwise separated from the rest of the content. The more view controller can be quite useful for displaying additional tab items, but also considered a more tab requires more time and effort from the user. A much better practice is to plan your app carefully. So try and have only 5 tabs, I guess is what they're trying to say. I mean, you should be able to get away with just 5 tabs. Most people think about it. Geez, with a website, I can make a whole entire company website with only 5 tabs. Because you can have other items underneath each tab. You can actually have the a table menu or something under a tab. Extending the lesson, more view controllers. Currently, only the controller with the red view can be customized with code because it's only controller that uses the UI view controller subclass. That subclass is called view controller, and it was created as part of the single view application template. At some point, you're going to want to add new functionality to the other view controllers, such as fetching data, managing a user account. Regardless of the view controller's responsibility, there's a high chance you'll need to use code in order to perform a task. This means you'll need additional UI controller subclasses for each of the different color screens. We already know how to do that. We've made Cocoa Touches, right? You already know how to do that. So again, you can make additional view controllers they talked about. Okay, let's do the quiz. You ready? Match the system items with its title. So this one is search, right? This one's what? Clock?
Most recent.
Most recent. This one is favorites?
Yeah.
Okay, this is contact and more. Ooh, look at that. You guys are brilliant. What property would modify your badge? Badge value? Right? I did that, right? Boom. What value would you assign to the previous answer to hide a badge? Nil, right? When should you use a tab bar controller? When your app has distinct modes, when you want to present many different tools to the user, when you want to navigate from one view to another within the same context. See? Dope. Hey, how about that? Boom. Congratulations, you were smart enough. Okay, how to change the icon color. Besides, if you don't want it to be the blue, and we did this last semester. I just have to try and remember how to do it. It's underneath the. Hold on, let me go back. In the UI documentation for the tabbed view. Maybe, hold on, where's my code view? So they do have an OpenVar badge color. No, that's the badge color. I know there's a way to change the color. Maybe there's a way to do it. It's the default there. I don't know. Let me stop.